This is a completed mini Doha Mehndi design. We are going to build this exact pattern step by step, focusing on how to balance heavy outer shapes with highly intricate interiors. This specific style relies on three signature elements working together: thick asymmetrical borders, sweeping bold leaves, and tightly packed teardrop accents. The entire technique comes down to mastering the extreme contrast between those heavy, dark exterior structures and the delicate, razor-thin fillings on the inside. But before drawing a single line, you have to adjust your henna paste. Standard, thick Mehndi won't work for this application. This side-by-side comparison shows why. Thick paste leaves harsh, rigid ridges when you fill large areas. A slightly thinner paste settles into a smooth, flat surface as it dries, giving you a clean, solid block of color without the bumpy texture. Dialing in that thinner paste consistency is the required foundation that makes professional-level contrast possible. We set our starting orientation near the edge of the small finger. Begin with a tight spiral, wrap it in one bold line, add a fine line immediately next to it, and top it off with large, rounded scallops. This cluster acts as the starting point for our asymmetrical border, anchoring the entire Doha layout. This diagram highlights how a standard even border keeps the eye static. By forcing the shape to the uneven, heavy and broad on one side, while tapering thin on the other, you create a natural visual flow that guides the eye across the hand. Extending off that flowing border, draw out your foundational mango shapes to establish the core boundaries. To create the signature bold leaves stemming from those shapes, apply heavy pressure at the base to form a thick, round drop, then quickly pull away to drag the paste into a sharp, tapered point. You need to follow a strict sizing rule here. Keep the leaves shorter on the front side of the design, and allow them to stretch longer on the back side to fit the natural curves of the hand. As you pack these elements together, keep the spatial gaps between them as small as possible. This density maintains the rich, heavy look required by the style. These tightly packed borders and bold leaves provide the necessary heavy architecture. Without this stark framework, the delicate internal details wouldn't have anything to pop against. Even with tight spacing, you will end up with small, awkward gaps between those thick leaves. You manage this empty space by deploying clusters of tiny teardrops or sweeping teardrop vines right into those pockets. Adding these filler teardrops connects the disjointed shapes, turning scattered elements into one dense, interconnected pattern. With the exterior architecture sealed up, we can shift our focus to the empty space inside those foundational mango shapes. We fill these specific interiors using traditional Indian motifs: tiny scallops, tight spirals, and razor-thin lines. Do not use heavy pressure or bold lines anywhere inside these shapes. This graphic shows necessary line weight variance. Thick inner lines destroy separation, creating a muddy design. Instead, build interiors layer by layer: a fine spiral, a delicate border, and dotted lines. That precise, engineered tension between the heavy exterior architecture and the hyper-delicate internal artistry is the true signature of the Doha style. Now we move to spatial focus from the back of the hand up to the fingers. Set your structural anchor by placing a miniature mango shape at the base of the digit. Build upward from that base, alternating between the same bold leaves and teardrop vines established earlier. Inside these finger shapes, you can swap out the standard spirals for advanced fillings, like intricate line and dot grids. Deliberately alternating these fine motifs across different fingers gives the overall piece a highly polished, customized finish. Carrying the exact same structural rules and contrasting line weights all the way to the fingertips anchors the entire design and completes the continuous spatial flow. Take a look at the final, unified composition of the mini Doha pattern. The defining success factor in this design is the extreme visual variance between the dark, heavy leaves and the delicate Indian fillings. Training your muscles to automatically shift between heavy pressure drops and feather-light lines takes a lot of repetition and patience. When you sit down to practice, focus specifically on executing that shift. Draw a heavy line, then immediately try to draw the thinnest line possible right next to it. Once you understand this structural logic, you stop merely copying patterns and start engineering balanced, professional compositions of your own.